And our third question comes from Kisa O'Quinn.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
People have described my communication style as being too direct, too bossy, or too aggressive. And I'm wondering if the perception might also be impacted by the fact that I'm African American and female. What can I do about that?
Okay.
A very important question, both for African Americans and for women and for anybody who's ever been described in the way you did. And one of the things that we believe, let's just take what we talked about so far regarding raising issues, okay? So let's think of it as a continuum. Some of us, and I'll join you on this end, some of us have been accused of being too demanding, too controlling, too bossy, intimidating. I mean, you can fill out the words. And that's our excess that we need to figure out how to deal with so that we can have maximum impact. But I want you to know that there's another end of this continuum over here. And those are people who are perceived as undercutting themselves. These are people who are shy and who are quiet and who are almost subservient to their own wishes and their own needs. And these are people who sometimes, and Peter and I, by the way, have worked with shyness from the time we were in graduate school. Dr. Phillips, it was his area, and so we've worked with shyness a lot. And so people on this end of the continuum who just don't even know how to begin a conversation.
Sometimes people on that end of the continuum raise an issue and the other person thinks they've apologized.
Right. So now the question is, and I'm going to start with your question, but I'm going to answer that one too. So the question is, what can I do if people's experience of me is hostile, aggressive, controlling? Let's start with the model itself, and I'm going to put this out as a kind of question. What are the steps that, if I'm a person who is experienced as hostile and aggressive and controlling.
Not hostile, but direct.
Overly direct, demanding. I'm just adding words.
Yeah.
What do I need to force myself to remember to do? Because it's unnatural and I might leave it out. And let me tell you, the key places are, number one, to be able to share those vulnerable feeling statements. So instead of saying, you're rude and dismissive, to be able to say something like, I was embarrassed at the meeting when. So one is to convert you accuse it into I feeling. Another very powerful move for people on this end is the one that says, hey, listen, I know I'm part of this problem too. I could have told you earlier that. I didn't realize that when I said this, it happened to you then. The more I can take personal accountability, the less the other person sees me as demanding and intimidating and aggressive. And finally, when I'm trying to ask for behavior change, to not forget to go first, to say, here's something I could do different than I'm doing now, and here's something I think I could do better. And then that part that says, is there anything else you'd like from me? That's a real key too. So it's really hard to change some of the deepest, scariest perceptions that some people walk through life with. And I don't want this answer to make it seem like, well, all you have to do is steps 1, 3, and 4A and everything will be fine, because you're getting at something that's much deeper than that. I do think that that is one way to begin changing and shaving away at that perception. Now, I do want to also go to this end of the continuum, because this is a group of people that we've spent many years working with. What do you do if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to rock the boat, doesn't want to make waves? As Peter said, when you raise an issue, sometimes people think it's an apology. What can you do to amp up your presence and consequently your impact? Those would be some different steps. For one, pinpointing details, being very concrete and very specific about this is what happened, this is what you were saying, and this is the impact it had on me. And also the part of the solution that says, here's what I am asking of you, and doing that in a very straightforward and concrete way. Now, I want to be certain that I don't end this piece with a misperception. I am not saying that if you tend to be perceived as more aggressive and demanding, that you should do steps 1, 3, and 4A, and all the other people should do steps 2 and 4B. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reason the Raising Issues model has been so powerful for so many people is because really it's bringing together two really different sets of skills. A set of skills that are very assertive and very clarifying, with a set that are very relational and very respectful. And I believe that's where the power comes in merging both of those. Thank you so much for that question.
Thank you, Kisa.